Hey everybody, welcome back to the final episode of Salt and Sanctuary Ornstein Run. We're gonna kill the final boss, Brittany. And, with our poll results, as I mentioned before, being a staggering support towards conquering the island, you have chosen the ending.
But have we chosen wisely?
I think so. I like the other one just because, as I mentioned before, I'm looking for the Link's Awakening connection. But this one's a pretty good one too, just because of how brutal it gets. We also get a chest of salt, and yes, if you use that, you still stomp on it to death.
Nice.
Now, I do kind of wish this area was a little brighter, that way I could see where the fuck I'm going, and not have to use a torch. But yeah, the run back's just mainly a nice, serene walk across upside-down stairs to the final boss. And I do gotta admit, I like the monochrome look to it. Like this whole time we've been looking at nice, colorful areas, and now at the cusp of everything, it kind of comes to this. But there's also the thing I don't like about this boss. Here's how stupid this boss is. Notice how our entrance is a cliff?
Mm-hmm.
It is specifically designed to make you take fall damage because they want you to bow before the Nameless God. I think that is stupid as hell. So, the Nameless God. You know why having a Bodar is funny as hell for this run? This boss is actively weak to strike damage.
Yes. Kick his ass.
I actually noticed that I do so much damage that I tried to sandbag this run because I tried to show him off. If you've ever played a Dark Souls, it's like the capstone fight for the entire game. It's like Gwyn, it's like what the fuck was in Dark Souls 2?
Nothing that had anything to do with the rest of the game.
It's like the Forgotten Flame, it's like King Allant. It's basically a one-on-one sword fight against a guy who's really fucking brutal. He has a lot of delay combos that if you try to roll in and attack him, he will counterattack. You want to mainly attack him when he tries to drop his sword on you, but he has one attack that is just a surefire kill if you get into this circumstance.
Oh, damn.
His one spell rains death, so my sandbagging kind of made me eat shit. But yeah, when you're learning the Nameless God, it's actually a relatively fun fight because he's so aggressive and fast-paced that shit gets rough. And the timing is actually really tough. However, I've played this game 4 times. I have a weapon that exploits his weakness, upgraded to the maximum. I also have heavy armor, so most stray hits just kind of glance off me, so this boss fight's just going to be very disappointing, and I apologize. So yeah, let's actually, not give a fuck about showing off and actually kill Brittany.
Sandra.
Rebecca. So let's see what actually happens when I actually give a fuck about, finishing this LP.
You get hit more.
Yeah. It's mainly because I was like, I can't believe I fucking died here. He's also weak against fire, because if you notice, when I hit him with all my fire accessory, he takes DOT damage. Also, here's how you dodge the magic. You just walk away, and if you get cornered, jump over it. Also, he noticed that he killed me with that, so he's kind of going for that.
Is that a programming thing?
I don't think so. It's just bad luck on my part. Also, you know how I said he's weak against strike damage? He has 500 to slashing, piercing, and every element ever. But yeah. Nameless God is dead. Fuck you, Scarecrow. He gave us $100,000.
Do you carry that over to New Game Plus or something?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Like, you can still buy stuff.
Fun, question mark? Fun tunnel.
Yes. I call it a fun trap because I am actually really salty about that fall damage thing. I don't think that's good game design. I get what they were going for from a presentation standpoint, But when you're trying to learn a boss, it doesn't help if you start at 70% HP. And now, the final choice. I kind of wanted to walk up there, but that's slow as hell. If you just want to escape the island, all you gotta do is drop down this well. However, in order to get the Conqueror ending, you need to have talked to Scarecrow 3 times and then go over here. Nothing beyond it, though. Just him. And, to conquer the Nameless God's realm, you take his helmet. And by take his helmet, you tear off his fucking head.
Nice. To conquer the realm, take the helm. And
hold my beer. Yep, now we are the Nameless God.
Are you now an asshole too?
Who's to say Ornstein wasn't an asshole this whole time, even though we did kind of help a despondent thief get out of here, but not really. Also kind of bullied a masterless knight because of his weird obsession. Also, here's an interesting thing. You know how there's like 6, 7 covenants in this game? For both endings, the sequence changes for what covenant you're a part of. And you know how this entire motif that's been everything's upside down? Hey look, we're basically in the inverse Yggdrasil. And that was Salt and Sanctuary. Despite all the ragging and criticisms and just general fun poking I make at this game, I still like it a lot. It's not my all-time favorite Metroidvania ever because that's for La Mulana and possibly Hollow Knight. But there's a lot of good points in this game. I love the level design. I love the fact that we've taken Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, what have you, made it a real Metroidvania and it works really well. Verticality goes really well in a Souls game. I also kind of dig the general idea of, you know, a afterlife motif of the ocean, salt. There's like a lot of cool things in the afterlife based on the ocean, and I love that the developers basically focused entirely on that. This game does a lot of cool things, and it's enough for me to see past the flaws and find a really nice pearl in this clam of a game. That's not the metaphor I'm looking for, but whatever. But yeah, what do you think, Thorn?
It definitely looks interesting, and it's, I sort of feel the same way I did at the start. It is definitely a, we are doing Dark Souls, just making it 2D, and it sort of beats you over the head with it, but...
Yeah, also they're nice enough to thank you as well, and any developer that does that gets a gold star in my book. But yeah, there's still like 6 minutes left in the video. Let's take a gander at New Game Plus. Especially since the viewers have chosen to conquer, you actually get the Nameless God's armor set if you conquer.
Nice.
You get a sword if you use his ashes on New Game Plus, but that requires an alchemist, which you typically get by the first wooded area that I can't remember right now. There's also a neat little story with each armor piece. Like, each story just says, this god was really sour that he couldn't get what he wanted, and this armor represents that. These boots are for ass-kicking and killed a bunch of salt people. I'm not kidding, it actually says that. But that's not Ornstein's armor. Ornstein is a resplendent man with a boat oar. Now the amusing part, New Game Plus, you don't get any of your brands carried over, which is why I'm jumping around very sad that I don't have Dart. However, you keep all your items, including any Covenant items you picked up. So if you go through the entire game and swear allegiance to every Covenant, including the Blackguards and the Lepers, you could just choose whatever Covenant you want to work for at the start of the next run. Aside from that, New Game Plus doesn't really have much. All it is just bloated numbers.
That's a shame.
I did want to show off one thing, though, and I'm going to take the last of the 4 minutes to explain this. You know how we're at the first shrine right now? Way above it, like a good 4 screens above this, is a unique shopkeeper called the Cat Merchant that sells every item in the game. The only way to get this item is actively glitching by going onto a ladder and then glitching on it to where you teleport behind you to a certain degree, or you could glitch long jump, but that involves death. Speedrunners use that exploit to get a really strong weapon to just gimp the game. However, they can only do that if they beat the Kraken horror at the beginning of the game. On that note, you know how I mentioned you had to glitch to get to the Cat Merchant?
Mm-hmm.
If you use that very same glitch in the very same manner but don't stop, you could refight the first boss of the game.
Oh yeah, I saw all that at the speedrun.
Yeah, there is no loading zones in this game, so to counter that, they just drag things you're not supposed to fight all the way away from where you are in the game. Which is also amusing on a metaphorical level because, in a way, the boat you're floating on in the real world is at the tippy top of the map, and everything else, which is technically in this underworld of a level, is below it, so you're just adventuring below the ocean.
You are in hell.
It's a neat little accident of level design, in my opinion, and I think it's kind of great.
Was the Cat Merchant something that was supposed to be dummied out?
I think it's a dev console thing. That's definitely something there for devs to like poke in, grab an item, and play test it for a bit. And they just kind of left them in there. I think it's mainly because they like the Cat Merchant's design, which is pretty good if you look it up. I may put it in post. I may not. I don't know. It's how I'm feeling at the time of editing. Yeah, I forget what else I wanted to show off here. There is one thing I wanted to show off, I think I just kind of give up halfway through. Like, I just wanted to show off going through the first level, showing just how powerful I am. That even New Game Plus is not really a threat. Like, all enemies have in New Game Plus is bloated HP and bloated damage. Which is kind of a letdown, in my opinion. I would like to see enemies not where they're supposed to be. And just fucking with you the whole time. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to show is the ultimate unlock for the Splendor crew. I'm never gonna remember their name.
House of Splendor.
House of Splendor. If you spend an inordinate amount of gold with them, you get access to a unique item, the strongest axe in the game, the Axe of Splendor. Sadly, we don't have axe mastery. Sorry, guys.
One thing occurs to me. The beginning of the game, we're transporting a princess. And I think it was the thief pointed out she was transporting like a priest or lord. It turns out he was a slave. And we kind of wonder if maybe that was the same thing with the princess. But then we find out this island is just some jackass god's place to fuck with people. So our whole quest to find the princess in the first place ends up being moot to begin with. So there's something sort of tragic about that.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, though, were we really trying to look for the princess? Why were we looking for a princess? That's something we ask ourselves. This is an island of desire. Like, this was entirely born out of desire. And every video gamer wants to save the princess. So in a way, the story's kind of playing on our desires as well. I know I'm kind of stretching it here, but still. It's just... The whole princess thing is just something that is just, you know, forgotten. And also, the game just straight up forgets because you never see the princess again.
Yeah. Which is sort of my point.
You don't even get princess armor, I think. You find her assistant's armor, you just never see the princess again. Which is an interesting thing to point out, because did she survive? But yeah, that was Salt and Sanctuary. A neat little Metroidvania game. I think it's like $15 on Steam and PS4. I'd definitely say grab it. It's a fun experience. Maybe wait for a sale if money's tight, but I'd say you won't be disappointed playing it. I remember when I first beat it, I beat it again twice within like a week because I had that much fun with it. But yeah, I'm glad I LP'd this game, and thanks for sticking around the whole time, Thorn.
And thank you for hosting this for us.
Not a problem. If you're looking for a more general LP of the game, I know Genocyber on Essay is working on one. He does a good job explaining things, which is something I just kind of skirt over because I'm not a fucking lore guy. Come on, guys. He also shows off a lot more of the game in terms of weaponry and armor. This was more of like a challenge run, but I still had fun doing it. It showed off neat things like the challenge runs of the game. It shows off alternate paths. It shows off the non-linear nature of the game, and I still had fun doing it. So, yeah. Buy Assault and Sanctuary. Fun game. Support indie developers.
And kill Brittany.
Good night, everyone.